This conference will now be recorded.
I don't know. We'll see how it goes.
Clerk, please start the recording. Today is Wednesday, January 10th, 2024, and I'd like to call today's City Council meeting to order. If we could all please rise to say the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Clerk, may we have a roll call?
Councilmember Fox,
Absent and excused?
Councilmember Kasberg,
I'm here.
Councilmember Boyle,
Absent and excused?
Councilmember Leija,
Present.
Councilmember Cerveny,
Present.
Mayor Stroven.
Here. Thank you, Clerk. All right. Clerk, can you please call up public comments from the audience?
Alfilla,
Alvilla 152 West 15th Street. Well, I had something all planned out and I talked to the mayor before the meeting and that solved it, sort of. But I was kind of disappointed about the Columbian or Reflector not coming out with an article saying that, yeah, we nixed the deal with the Cowlitz. And well, they finally came out yesterday. Well, I was expecting it to come out, before. And you wouldn't believe, I've been on Facebook now for 3.5 months. You talk about, the ignorance and misinformation that comes out of this phone on that Facebook thing. And, they can't tell whether it's the Cowlitz Tribal Police or the Cowlitz Sheriff's Department from Cowlitz County that's, and they're all going to start next week, which was a couple weeks ago. It's just unbelievable the amount of information that you learn from there. And people are swallowing this stuff. So anyway, I thank the mayor for, at least it was published yesterday in the Columbian, and I guess it'll come out in the Reflector. But there's a lot going on in the city. We had the resolution run on Saturday, and I was looking for city council members and everything else, and I didn't see a one in the race. But Sean was at the pancake feed, so he bit the bullet for you guys, so, but it was great. And Y Racing, believe it or not, they're right down here renting out from the city. They're local. The gal lives somewhere, outside La Center. And if you drove by the community center, you would have seen me with I didn't walk this time, but I was there with the stop sign, stopping traffic. And I took great pleasure in holding people for just a few more seconds longer than it. And, because all that power, with that sign, it was good. But anyway, there's a lot going on. The pancake feed was great. There's a lot there. Basketball, boys and girls, we had some real good games. You should go to, go out and see what's going on in the great city of the center. Come to the city council meetings. We've got some new faces, and some old ones. Okay. Well, a lot of old ones. Well, it is what it is. God bless America.
Thank you, Al.
Melissa Flatt,
Melissa Flatt with La Center United. Just a couple announcements. So on January 23rd, it's a Tuesday, we're going to have our volunteer night, and we're hosting it here at City Hall. So we'll have up all our flyers on whatever kind of help we could use, from big to small. We have board positions that are available all the way to, can you do something for 20 minutes in April. Can you help me hang flyers? All those kinds of things. So if you want to come down, see what we need, come on down, talk to our board and see if there's somewhere that you can fit. And then February 26th, we've scheduled a QPR meeting, which is question, persuade, and respond. In October, we did our youth mental health first aid training, and that was an 8-hour training. This is also a mental health training. It's not just geared at youth. It can be used for anyone. And it should last about 90 minutes. That will happen at the Community Sales Center, also known as the Wheel Club. Right? I think that meeting will start at 6 p.m., but flyers will be out. Everything will be on our website. So just wanted everybody to know those are our first 2 meetings.
So you
Yes.
said 6 p.m. for the February 26th one, and it's an 8-hour event? Or
No, that one's only 90 minutes.
Oh,
And
okay.
so it'll either start at 5:30 or 6. We haven't finalized, and we'll have food there. So everybody, if they're coming in from work, they could stop in and just have dinner while they're there. We'll probably have munchies here as well. So what we're planning to do with the city is be here at 4:30. And if you want to stop in and just look and chat, feel free. And then the meeting will be from 5:30 to 6:30. But they can just come in like on their way through town.
And that's the one that's on the 23rd?
That's the one on January 23rd.
Okay.
Yeah. We moved it so we didn't conflict with the arts meeting.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Melissa.
Thanks.
No more? All right. Clerk, are there any comments to be read?
There are none.
Any public comments from those calling in, please press *6 to unmute yourselves to speak. State your name and address for the record.
Good evening. This is Kimberly Goheen Elvin, live citizen of Clark County, Washington. I'll just start off with some of the things on the agenda a little bit. So Mr. Wilkinson completed his pesticide recertification. I'm going to ask that we stop all spraying in Clark County. He could have a small working crew to manage what this city calls pests. God didn't make pests. He made insects and things for a reason. But it's just us humans that consider them pests and don't want to get along with them because they're inconvenient. But I believe that they can be managed without toxic sprays. So I'm asking even Clark County Council to stop all spraying in Clark County. We've overpolluted the earth. We're in big trouble. That's why they basically want to have a one world order so they can govern people. And then that's why also the depopulation plan that's going on. I read over quite a bit of the planning commissions from yesterday, and I consider the housing industry a racket. I believe it's racketeering. I believe a lot of people are making a lot of monies from hard-earned tax dollars to do this. They're using criminal Biden's American Rescrew plan and doing everything they can to take down America, because you can't have a one world order when you have a free thinking people with liberty and freedoms. So that's what I think it is. We are in a recession with inflation, and I know that 4 years ago lumber was pretty expensive, and now it's just skyrocketed. But here comes all these houses. I mean, really, can anybody understand that even? Unless it was for an agenda that's not constitutional. And I do want this city to someday answer, going to be real soon, I hope, how many illegal immigrants we are going to be housing here. I'd like to know. I need to know, because frankly, they haven't been vetted, and we can't really trust anybody. And so I know God created humans. We're all equal, and I understand that. But America needed to vet these people, and we have not, thanks to criminal Biden. So I do use the word racketeering, using the hard-earned tax dollars by unelected positions and developers that make their millions of dollars, and then they just move on, destroying our country heritage. I'll remind citizens that not all Washington state counties use the GMA, which they're following, the Growth Management Act. They are counties that cherish and follow the Constitution
Really,
and do
time is
not
up.
agree with the opening border.
Any public comments from those calling in, please press *6 to unmute yourselves to speak. State your name and address for the record. Any other callers, clerk, on there?
No one that is unmuting themselves.
Okay, thank you. All right. If there are no requests for any items to be removed, may I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Motion passes. Thank you, council. Tonight seems to be a little short night for everyone. I'm happy to see a lot of the friendly faces out here. I hope everybody had a great holiday. And Casey, I'm not going to take away from the baseball stuff, so I'll let you speak on that. One thing I want to remind people during this type of weather is to check on their neighbors. You know, the elderly can't get out of their houses and such, and so if we do have this ice storm or snowstorm, it's just good to make sure that they're okay or if they need anything. You know, last year I think I dug out 4 driveways just so people can get out and get moving again. So I just want to remind people of that. I want to give you all an update on the police department. Monday night, Maria and I met with Sheriff Horsch, and we are working on a long-term contract, which we hope to have completed here in the near term. But in the meantime, we are going to work on a temporary contract, and we'll have Commander Phil Sample starting at the police station on January 22nd. So we will have a sheriff officer, Commander Phil Sample, who will be the acting police chief starting January 22nd. Chief Richardson will still work and help until the transition's completed. So I wanted to give the public that update with the police. I also want to thank the sheriff for the patience and the fortitude to forge forward with the city after all this time. And that is all I have tonight. Next up is the attorney's report. Bronson?
Thank you, Mayor. Things have been pretty quiet on the legal front, which has given me time to look at council policies and our absence of any written council policies. Most cities the size of La Center and bigger do have a set of written council policies, and I think it might be worth your while to consider looking at a set. Typically, and I can send you examples of other cities' policies, but they deal with things from appointments of council members to committees and how is that done, appointment of citizens to committees and how is that done, what order do you call for the vote among council members? I mean, we have sort of things established by practice, but really nothing in writing that you can look to say, here is our policy. Agenda, how do things get put on the agenda? Can one council member do it? Does it take 3? Absent a policy, it would take 3. But you can adopt a policy to have 1 or 2, or, you know, how are we gonna do it? Public comment, and what are the rules surrounding public comment? And is there any consequence for violating the rules? You can establish policies surrounding that. So if this is something that you're interested in, give me a head nod and I will try and get some time on a future meeting where we can talk about these in a little bit more detail, and I can sort of give an outline and go through them. Mayor, you look like
Yeah, well, yeah. Is this something you think that we should be doing in a retreat? Because the amount of time that sounds like it would take to build out a good plan, as opposed to a workshop, right? Because I don't think we can nail something down in an hour or even a half hour on something, because we're talking intricate and important.
Yeah, you're right. It would take, it's going to take some time. Some of them are a lot easier than others, but some will take some, discussion for everybody to have their say. So personally, I don't really want to wait a year to do this. But if we can schedule something nearer term, yeah, if we could set aside a couple hours, we may not do it in one bite. We might take a couple.
Yeah, totally agree. Maybe at the next retreat, which is not a year away. I can tell you that.
Okay, sounds
Could
good.
you send out some examples and just a little bit of written education on the process that we can study before that might cut an
Yeah,
hour or two out of a retreat or even a
Sure.
work session.
now that I've piqued your interest, I'll send out, it's easy. I can grab 2 or 3 examples, maybe just do a bullet point outline of like a table of contents of here's all the things that it might address. Some I think are overkill, and there's policies on things that are clear and you don't really need a written policy on, but I'll get something sent out.
All right.
That's it, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions for Bronson?
Well, what's your opinion? If you think we can do it in a couple hours, maybe just for
Work sessions or something?
a couple of work sessions before council meetings, just to speed up that process rather than waiting another month or two for.
Yeah, let me get sort of the bullet point and a couple samples sent out, and then you'll have more of a flavor of what they consist of, and then we can talk again about how we want to schedule it.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, and I believe that there are some work sessions in the future here. There's going to be quite a few of them. So, yeah, we'll have to work that around if we're going to do that. Perfect. Thank you, Bronson. Next up is council comments. Councilmember Kasberg.
Good evening. Thank you. Not a whole lot to pass along tonight. I think you guys have probably seen the big baseball signups sign. It's doing really well. The Center Little League has been around since the 60s, and we want to keep it that way. So if you have anybody that you're aware of that's in that age group, where the Center Little League is struggling is in the majors division, just because the trend now with kids that age is to go with the travel ball teams, which really now is a year-round sport. And so we're not seeing as much registration on those teams. So, if there's a kid out there that's just not quite to the level that they think they can play at the travel ball teams, but want to try it out, really encourage them to get online and sign up. There's going to be the evaluation days. Shortly after that, I'll have some dates here next time, but we'll have opening ceremonies. Our mayor's going to speak. We're going to get somebody to sing the national anthem from the school, hopefully.
Not me.
No.
Don't worry, you're safe.
But as a fundraiser, we're gonna have a raffle we're thinking about trying to get a barbecue or something like that donated. So there'll be a cool prize for raffles to try and raise funds. For the last few years, well, since COVID, really, we've kind of operated in a deficit with just the registration funds. So I'm trying to build a little capital to do some improvements in the fields and things like that. So other than that, boy, the weather turned yesterday, so be careful heading in and out of town. We'll see what happens tomorrow morning when Peter gets up early and has to go drive around and see if the kids are going to be in school. I did appreciate how fast the update came that the school was canceled. So that was very good, because leaving parents in limbo at about the time they have to go to work is kind of tough. So thank you for that. Yep. Yeah. And the further south you went, it went away. By the time I got to downtown Vancouver, there wasn't anything on the road. So anyway, that's all I have. Thank you guys for coming. It's good to see some new faces in the crowd.
Thank you, Councilmember. I do want to tell you that the sign is excellent. I don't think I've seen a better baseball sign in this city. Even when they had the banner across it, this blew it out of the water. It was great.
I hope somebody asked if it was okay to put it up.
Oh, they did.
Okay, good.
Councilmember Leija.
Well, last Wednesday was the art meeting that was at the Wheelhouse Community Center. And there was, let's see, there was like 6 of us there. Some were artists that ink draw, some were watercolors, some was acrylics. And I brought my photography, and we had a nice meeting. Melissa was there. And they're going to be meeting again on the 17th of January, and again February 7th and 21st, and again in March. And they're working towards having like an art show, right, Melissa? So anyway, it's exciting because I really would like to see that Mr. Dan Masterson came a couple meetings ago and talked about bringing art to the center. And I think it's a great idea, and it's something that I'm going to help facilitate and start working on. So that's all I got.
Thank you. Councilmember Cerveny.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to welcome everyone to this evening's meeting and braving the weather. Just remind everybody, weather's turning, still have dark hours. Please stop tailgating and blowing through the roundabouts and stop signs. Keep our community as safe as we can. We still have quite a few youth that are walking back and forth to school, so even on the days that they're not going to school, it seems like they manage to get up earlier and go out there and play in the snow. So let's keep them all safe. And that's it. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Next up, we do have a staff report. The Public Works and Community Development Staff Report, Mr. Brian Cast will be presenting. Brian?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Good evening, Council. Before I get started here, I do want to give a shout out to our newest Planning Commissioner, Mr. Paul Jones, who was appointed at the consent agenda. He has been our alternate for quite some time now, and so he's moved into the big leagues now with the with being a fully fledged member. So thank you, Paul. On the public works and street side, it's pothole season with the freeze-thaw cycles going, so our crew between snow plowing is doing that work. Fall leaf cleanup is slowed, thankfully, so we're able to transfer our staff onto some other work. Over on the wastewater side, the crew down there has been busy doing some preventative maintenance. We also did our quarterly generator testing and a semi-annual cleaning of membrane bioreactor number 3. I also wanted to note that we received a special recognition from the Department of Ecology for 5 consecutive years of outstanding performance of our wastewater treatment plant. So thank you to the diligence work of the staff for getting us that award down there. On the engineering side, staff are working with our grant writer, Adura, to put in an application to the Brian Abbott Fish Program for the 4th Street project. That grant application is due just about a month from now, so we're going full speed on that application. We are also wrapping up the right-of-way acquisition for phase 1 of that 4th Street project, which is the signal there at Highland and 4th Street. So we have a right-of-way offer in on one of the right-of-ways that we need to purchase, and we're working with the school district on the other piece right-of-way for that. And then we are also, you may have noticed some surveying going on out along 4th Street for the 2nd phase of right-of-way acquisition for the remainder of the project. Let's see here. We wrapped up the year last year with a total of 118 new single-family building permits and just over 340 building permits overall. So a relatively busy year, busier than the previous year. Things not quite back up to the 2020, 2021 peak, but picking up just the same. Onto the map here in the community development portion of the staff report, number 66 on the map there, the Barnhart annexation will be before you at the next council meeting for a public hearing for the 60% petition. And the county has issued a certification of sufficiency for that annexation, so keep an eye out for that at our next meeting. Number 69, the perimeter short plat, that is one lot downtown that they're dividing into two, and they have submitted a final plat for that project. And then number 61 on the list, out of order here because there's a new application on that one. They had previously only gone through a pre-application. That's the Vineyard Vista subdivision, but they have actually come in with a preliminary application on that. So staff are working right now on a technical completeness review. We want to make sure that we have all the information necessary to complete that review and go to public hearing. And once we have that, we will schedule the public hearing probably sometime February or March. And with that, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Any questions? All right. Well, thank you, Brian.
Thank you.
Great report. Wow. I think this is the fastest we've gone through a meeting. Council, is there any unfinished business? All right. Council, is there any new business? Okay. Well, can I get a motion to close the meeting?
I make a motion to close the meeting.
Second.
It's been moved in second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Passes. Thank you, everyone.